was shit, but it was sick.
Yes, IT or something. Seems like I've got a folder on my
Yeah,
hard drive.
that's what it was.
All right, we're closer. Share screen.
You mentioned you screencast of that.
Wilson, where's your stuff at now?
I pay for mine.
On the
Yeah, we don't.
the
I
USB
only pay
drive.
for my stuff myself because it's like, unless I think
How do I get
like
to
my
it?
colleagues are going to use it, I don't
Just
want to
any folder.
put that burden on the company either.
Double click. There you go.
So yeah.
USB.
Well, they might use it if they don't do that. Because I used to use it.
What do you pay for?
Student
Screen has
engagement.
another. So you can record,
Capture your screen.
yeah, capture the screen.
As I recall, Wilson was not present during the presentation
He was not.
this summer.
All right,
This is what we're waiting for.
Oh.
we're gonna put the,
Your presentation.
we're gonna put it
I'm
here.
waiting all summer.
We're gonna put it here.
Record the screen,
You-
like it's like that. I
Hopefully
don't-
you'll be able to hear
if you
you.
have
We
them
might
now.
have to move this
Yeah,
a
I don't
little
have them.
closer. Just walk back and forth if that's all you're gonna do.
So do you test, can you test it?
I think we're good. I think we're recording. Let me check on my phone. That's how I check.
You have to be done before the sun's.
Do we have?
Okay,
What was that? He has to be done with?
don't trip on the cord.
We can't walk home in the dark. He's like Kyle, gotta give him a,
Streetlights are on. We had a whole conversation about
at
that.
5 minutes, go.
Yeah. When I was a
Night.
kid, streetlights are on, gotta be home.
Yep.
It's like the universal symbol. And of course, my mom would scream too. So.
Also,
You figured, so you got that thing with Kyle. squared away.
Oh, yeah. I never finished, but I attended.
Okay, we're good. It's going.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so now Wilson's up. I
The Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
think you're good.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I listened. They were good. Go.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. And now for the next phase of our presentation on student engagement. Man, the last one, I feel really engaged. I'm just going to have to take a class. I'm excited. So anyway, in terms of student engagement, I put something together here that takes a little bit broader view of student engagement. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad, just a different, different point of view. So traditionally, we think about engagement in terms of a faculty and a student, being able to engage a student, bring them in, get them interested in the material, help them, be more effective learners and produce better outcomes. But the question is that really enough just to engage with the student? If we step back and we say, oh, well, within a classroom environment, not only do we have to engage with the student, but we have to create an environment where the students can engage with the students, and the faculty can engage with all the students at the same time. So there are multiple levels of engagement, and there are different kinds of exercises that can help us get at these goals. One of the things we talk about now is experiential learning, being involved in projects, rather than listen to lectures, being engaged in an active activity. And as Jessica talked about, being able to put together, what was that, the brain break, right? Or other kinds of activities, change it up every 15 minutes or so it's not monotonous, keep it interesting. But also do things that are relevant to the student. Beyond that, engaging with the university. And the way the student engages with the university, the faculty and student engage with the university, depends on this concept we've talked about before of the life cycle stage. So when a student comes into the university as a freshman, they need one set of things to support them and to engage them. As they reach the, assuming a four-year student, when they were in the middle of their life cycle, they need other kinds of social ways to interact socially. And when they're at the tail end of their college career, they're going to need help engaging, with the workforce, finding a job, interview skills, other kinds of things. So just a quick example of a student life cycle and some of the kinds of things we might consider depending on where they are in their life cycle. It's a model we've talked about here before. One of the challenges for this university is we do have a couple of different student populations too. If we think about a traditional undergraduate students, we've got 4 years and a longer life cycle to work with. If we start talking about an online student, 70% of our online students are actually transfers from somewhere else. We probably have them for 2 years. Little different student. They're, whereas entering freshmen is, their average age is, somewhere between 18 and 22. Our online student base is early 30s, a lot of working moms, people with different kinds of needs. And so we have to be able to engage with them in different ways. And by the way, we've only got 2 years to do it, so we've got a lot shorter time. We need to be able to engage more quickly and build that rapport more effectively. And then we need to step outside that and engage with the community as well. This is actually original pointer from Professor Keller. Was, get out of the classroom and do some stuff, do some exercise in the community, and help the students connect, but also help give back to the community. So we've done a lot of stuff in this regard. And so you might ask, where are your citations? It should be academic research and stuff. I put my clip up here from Dr. K. It's my old PhD advisor. And he's famous for this quote. Wilson, where did you get that idea? Oh, wait, I see. You just pulled it right out of your own head. How are we supposed to believe that? In Dr. K's mind, if somebody else didn't think of it first, it probably wasn't a good idea. But, but that's okay. I mean, we love Dr. K. So I decided, just to pay homage to Dr. K, I'll include a couple of references. This is interesting because, if we look at the marketplace today, from the standpoint of university leadership, we really need to be able to get more efficient, be more effective, compete more effectively, and that means we have to be able to embrace technologies. From the students' standpoint, the students we have here today, students grew up with this technology. They don't, most of our students don't remember a world that didn't have a smartphone, that didn't have, students don't even know what a VHS tape or a DVD is anymore, right? Yeah, so students expect it. When you hand out an exam with a paper strap on it, you say, well, at 3:05 you could break the strap and mark the boxes with a pencil. I mean, we've all had that experience. But for students, they'll look at look at you like you're from another planet. They're just not expecting that kind of experience. From the standpoint of faculty, a couple of the articles I looked at said that 80% of public four-year colleges make course management tools available to their faculty. In many universities, only 20% of the faculty even use them. One of the reasons is because stress. They're not familiar with technology. There's things that can go wrong. There's a learning curve. It's more effort. So the fact that we have multiple modalities now, we have to worry about on-campus, online, hybrid, other kinds of course type adds to it. So not only do we have to worry about engagement and the curriculum, but we also have to worry about technology now too. So we really need to, engage and get comfortable with those kinds of tools. This came up for me, this was really underscored the other day. I had a class observation. Somebody in my class, they came in and wanted to interview my teaching style. And as after class, I was reading some of the comment, I was thinking, it's interesting because, 10 years ago, if somebody came into my class, they would have a pretty good idea what the class was about. They would look at a copy of the syllabus, they'd listen to what I was saying, and they'd understand. But today, it's kind of like the iceberg where most of it's, underwater. I'm using Canvas even in my online courses. So I have a syllabus there, I have presentations there, I have, class visitors, discussions. whether you're online or offline, we're still engaging. So in sitting in my class, you actually get a little tiny sliver of what that class experience is actually like, which I thought was interesting. Because that's kind of, I didn't do it consciously, it's just kind of evolved over time as students, responding to student needs and making things more convenient. For all my classes, I do a weekly welcome. So I do an announcement, whether it's online or on campus, welcome to week 7. Here's what we're going to talk about this week. I try to bring in community events. What did I talk about this week? Oh, this week we talked about the last #1 NFL team was out. Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle.
What?
Seattle. won.
And we have, and we have the public hearings are starting in Washington, D.C. And there's, we go through a couple of different events just to help connect to students. First of all, to help them know that I'm live and I'm in the moment. It's not just recorded, canned material, but also it helps them point out to them some of the things that are interesting. Did you?
I was just wondering, because you said you don't like to be filmed, do you film yourself doing that?
Usually, there are faculty in the College of Business that do video introductions. I don't. Mine are all written. I have a camera now, though, and I'm committed to try to experiment with that and make it happen.
You could teach you how to put it up high.
Yeah, but I can talk to God too. Yes.
What do you think, your online courses, your on-campus courses?
Both. Yeah, so I've forecasted courses this term. I started out Tuesday morning. First of all, I started on Monday morning. It said, Happy Veterans Day. Shake the hand of a veteran. Have a great day with family and friends. We'll see you tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I went out. Yesterday morning, I went out with an announcement to all my courses. Of course, the on-campus course is a little different because I'm going to see them and I'm going to be able to talk about other kinds of stuff. When the online course, I have to give the whole week's worth of information at one time. But periodically, if we have a pub talk, if there's something interesting, I get an email. I'm teaching entrepreneurship. I get an email from, somebody who got a big funding. There was a software company that just got close to $64 million round today. And I'll put that in. I'll send it out to my entrepreneurship club. Here's an example of a company, a local company in Portland, closing venture capital. Here's what they do. Here's how they went about it. So I think it's really important to try to tie to current events in the environment and let people see that some of the stuff is real. So I do the weekly announcements. Each module, the course are all set up in modules, weekly modules, as Jessica suggested. Within each of those, there's usually a section called Reading Articles, Videos, which tells them what's going to happen over the course of the week. Read this, watch this presentation, study this. The assignments for online courses only, we have discussion, and I try to link that in the community as well to talk about it. And group projects. I do group projects in online classes and on-campus courses. It can be a difficult transition sometimes. Online students don't always want to do that. They're in an online class for convenience. That was the #1 reason they told us. But at the same time, communication, we talk to employers, the #1 skill employers want are communication skills. And I've had students in 498, it's a capstone course, students say, well, why would I want to do a group project with perfect strangers? Like, you've got your undergraduate degree and you still think all your classmates are strangers. That's a problem, right? So I made an effort to try and pull that kind of material in. Here's an example of weekly announcements. You can see, welcome to week 9, week 8, week 7. We go through. If you want to look at one of the announcements here, welcome to week 4 over the summer. You can see, I have a picture. I went to the Hell's Canyon bike rally in Baker City, took a shot, but I told them all the kind of the fun stuff here, and I encouraged them. And this,
50s.
what's that?
The musical acts. Cool.
It is. Oh, you didn't know that?
Huh?
You didn't see the Pendleton Whiskey Fest?
That's cool, yeah. I didn't know.
He's going to come. He's going to come talk to us. The guy who's organizing that, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was Post Malone coming?
Andy something. Yeah.
Was Post Malone coming too?
No, Post Malone's not coming. No. But we'd try for the next pub talk, or for a pub talk somewhere in the future, we were trying to get Nicole Lewis to come talk with us, which might be kind of fun too. But anyway, so I'm sharing with them what's happening here, but I'm also asking them to share where they are as well. Tell us what's going on where you're at. You know, share with your classmates, connect us. And I like to have a sense of this. The limitation on Canvas right now, and hopefully you can get somebody to fix this, is on announcements. When you put in a picture like this, if somebody wants to see that picture, they have to go to Canvas Shell and open it. When they get an email, that picture is not included. That's kind of a serious problem. That's a bug.
Okay, we'll work on
Put our best people on it, right?
it. That's my life. Get things go on my list and things go off of it.
So Wilson, this is a screenshot of what your homepage looks like, or what are we looking at right now?
No, this is inside the Canvas Shell. When you go inside the Canvas Shell and you click on announcements would be at the top. But
Right,
when you click on announcements, this is what you get, a summary of all the announcements.
right, and then you can actually put something like that there.
No, so what this is, if I was to click on one of these and open it, I would see that.
Okay.
But the reason why I've blown it out this way is because from my software days, if I'm doing a demo, I'd rather have it in a slide than in the shell, because if it doesn't work, then I'm stuck. So I try to do this. Oh, here's the other thing. In all my classes, I require a profile photo. And so if you don't want to, some students that, I've had people tell me that for privacy reasons, some students may not want to do that. And I've just said, hey, look, if you don't want to post a profile photo, post an avatar. Post something that will remind us of you, your cat, your favorite camping spot, a piece of sporting equipment you're proud of, whatever it is, because, something to make it more personal than just that shadowy figure. And then in the discussion post rubric, I have points for not having a profile photo. So I get 100% profile photos in my shows. Here's an example. We used this last week. Connect with current events. Halloween is business. So we talk about Halloween, it's a finance class, so we talk about numbers and business. But the idea is students are already thinking about Halloween, but I put it in the context of business. We talk about something that's relevant and fun for them. With this last one, they're talking about how much people spend on costumes for their pets. So I got to hear about from some of the students about I got to hear from some of the students about costumes that they had for their pets, or their parents had for their pets, etc. So it was kind of a fun, I won't say anything.
I didn't see I thought you were just looking at me.
You dressed your dog up this year, I don't know.
I didn't actually, but I have a costume for her.
So I actually have versions of this that I've done for Halloween, for the Super Bowl, Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day, just to be interesting and relevant and put in the context of business. But there's no reason it has to be that way. It could be in the context of literature, or it could have been in the context of history, or something to engage with the student and make it more interesting. Here's the picture there of the Canvas shell. You can see how things are set up in the weekly modules, as you talked about. Chapter 6 presentation, assignment, week 3 assignment. You can see in the readings, articles, videos, we lay out what the week looks like, participate in the discussion, complete the assignment, week 10 over module, key questions, and an explanation of when it's going to be over. And then in the discussion, here's an example of something I did, that relates to the community. So it turns out that the Safeway store down on Adams is for sale. So I pulled up the real estate listing and looked at some of the numbers, and I'm going to have the students use some of the tools we learn in class to really analyze this investment and see if that would make sense. So it becomes hopefully more relevant to what they're doing and what the community, what's happening in the community.
So this screen, I mean, it looks like you clicked on something, then another window's open. What are we looking at?
Oh, so
This is screen
this
shot.
is the Canvas shell,
Right.
broken out by week. If I do readings, articles, and videos, you would get this one.
How did you do that?
All he's done, you didn't hear him before.
Oh, I see. So this,
That's a slide.
that isn't what students see when they click on week. It is what it is, but I understand it.
No, it is when the student clicks on week 4 readings, articles, and videos, that's what they see.
Right, that slide comes, that page comes up.
Yes.
Yeah, but not a window.
Not like embedded in.
Oh, no, yeah, I want 350 slides, so I just kind of overlay a little
I
bit.
see. You did the overlay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So who owns the building now?
What was that?
Who owns the Safeway building now?
A real estate investor. Yeah, it's not finance class, but just a little tidbit.
I'm sorry. this is
6 minutes. You got 6 minutes.
All right.
Uh-oh.
If you're Safeway and you've got hundreds of stores, and that building is probably going to cost, well, you'll see it there, it's about $10 million you're asking for it. If you had hundreds of stores, you would have billions of dollars tied up in real estate. So for stores like Safeway, it makes sense to lease the store, let somebody else invest the money in it, and then your lease payments are going to be 100% tax deductible too. And in this case, they take care of the whole building. It's a pretty good deal for the landlord if you got the money to put into it. You know, they usually it's not unusual to have a 20-year lease, so you don't have to worry about people moving out and turning over and fixing it up.
Want to go have these?
Yeah.
Was that?
We'll go have these on.
Okay.
Can you fix it?
Here's another response brief. Response briefs, I use these both in class and in online programs as well. In this one, we're going to build, a student's going to build an online LinkedIn profile. Here's the deal. We have these students, it's an upper division class. I know the students are getting ready to go out in the workforce. So, and LinkedIn is one of the most effective tools you can use. So I have this assignment, and I teach students, or I explain to them how to build a LinkedIn profile, what to put into it. I let them create the LinkedIn profile, and then they post the link in the discussion post for the week. Their classmates come back and they give them feedback and feedback on their LinkedIn post. And then, of course, I go in and I'll actually grade the assignment. I've got a rubric where, set of elements I'm looking at, so I'll grade it as well and give them my own feedback. So hopefully, we've had an assignment that's related to online marketing. That's what this class is. We've engaged with the students' future, where they're trying to go, and we've given them something useful that's going to be useful even after they finish with the class. By the way, interview would be good here too, right? But we're online marketing. So. Principles in action, we're looking at group projects across a number of these different classes. Plus, we also have student organizations like the Entrepreneurship Club, Millennial Community Agency, all play a role and try to engage with the community and engage with projects. Here's a list of some of the projects we've done in the community. These ones are projects. You can see we've done over 60 of those, 67 now, and we've got 3 more coming up in winter term. And class visitors. Some of these have actually gone on to do pub talks. Pub talks are actually taped, live streamed, and they're online, so those are available to anybody. Actually, some of the class visits we tape as well, and we put them on live stream. What we're really trying to do here is not only engage with the community, but also provide something that's inspiring. Here's STI changes. STI changed that, right? From 2008. Now that I know, I'm just gonna
Now you know what the acronym's for.
Summer Teaching Institute. Real simple.
So we talked about. I was having trouble getting students engaged in the 498 capstone project. So not this summer, but the summer before, we redesigned that project to get students actually get a better deliverable and get students more engaged. Part of what we put into here was video conference calls that the students have to have. So every 2 weeks, the students have a video conference call. They can use, I suggest they use Zoom, but they could use FaceTime, they could use whatever they want. All they have to do is they have to send me a screenshot where I can see everybody online at the same time. They should send me a summary of what they talked about and what the outcome was. So at least I get them talking right up front and get some engagement. If there's a problem, somebody's not participating, I know about it sooner. And on campus, that's easier, but this is one way to break through that. It seems to have been pretty effective so far. It's another example of getting out of the classroom, you know, with the Entrepreneurship Club, Pub Talks. We bring in role models and heroes, people who've, you know, been there, done that, got great experiences to share.
And Gary.
Was that fun? I love it,
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, that was side A before. Those tanks are still sitting. They don't even have any pipes in them. This was before they actually built side A. It was just a big empty building with some equipment sitting in it. So we went out before they built it. We went in another time when they were framing it up, when it was starting to take shape. And of course, we were there once they opened it. We've done projects for Scott since then around online marketing and things of that nature. The Entrepreneurship Club, how once again we're engaging with different activities, and Eastern Oregon Ventures is a nonprofit that we can work with. And then we've got a couple of these contests. So Invent OR is a statewide competition, prototyping competition. So we engage statewide. You can see everybody's along the I-5 corridor, and then there's like us. But that's okay. It makes us better.
We're in front of them all.
Yeah, we went to one competition. We had to go down to OIT, and that was a pretty good job. Yeah. I think that's actually brings us up to the end here. We have borrowing from others is good. That's, you know, the Dr. K way. Discovering creative new solutions is essential. Engagement should extend well beyond. And technology is your friend. Well, mostly.
Thank you.
And, thank you, everyone.
I've embedded one of his guest speakers into that presentation, into a course assignment for a master's level course on creativity and innovation. So good.
One of the things that I'd like to see us create here is some kind of a knowledge base where we have those little tidbits of classroom experiences that can be used across curriculum, right? So there's so many things that we don't record. And again, it's just an advocacy for recording as much as you can, and not overburdening yourself or having to swim in those recordings, but having a place for us to make those meaningful things come back to life again. Because once they're said, and they're said in a classroom environment, and we don't record them, they just go into the ether. We lose those.
As part of a reform of convocation, we had a round robin or some place where faculty members could go in, not electronically, but realistically, walking in and then having it also available to adjuncts. That opportunity, and maybe Jennifer, we have a round robin, and each presentation really is 5 to 10 minutes. And you go in there, see what she's done just for, let's say, the interviewing part. Where can I find it? Here. He's got something and whatever. And we give some sort of academic or professional credit for it. So it's not just, thank you, Jennifer. Here's a custom, whatever.
Yeah. Service.
I think that would be, for convocation, that would be a very useful thing. And it's a 2-hour thing. Every 10 minutes, it's like speed dating. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And you can find these links, etc.
Yeah. I like that you have your students critique each other. So I have them do that same class at LinkedIn as well.
Right.
And you have them critique each other first, because usually what I do, here's a discussion board, share out so you can learn from each other, but then, and go like certain things or whatever, go endorse people. But I think having them critique each other would be another layer rather than me just doing it and grading them. Hearing from a classmate like, oh, this isn't the best way to present yourself or whatever, could be good.
Well, I put some videos in there too, so they know what to look for. So, you know, but if a classmate says it, then I don't have to say it. It's a good thing to do. But here's a library that we have now of some of the talks that we've given. I think Rick Miller's the one you're using. Right? But I mean, we continue to keep adding to it. These are all live stream events.
How do you access that stuff?
What?
How do you access?
Just www.livestream.com/entrepreneur club.
Wow.
And I can give you the link. This is anybody who has this link. It's public and can watch these.
How do you work that with your presenters? Do you have them sign a release?
I don't. I just tell them it's going to be it. Let's go. We're taping it. Because when I do a pub talk, I usually I have a relationship with the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, so I put it on their calendar and we promote it statewide. And then make it live stream so anybody can get on anywhere in the state. That's part of that engagement, reaching beyond, right?
Yeah, there's one, he's got Richard and Kathleen Schaps. Richard is the chairman of the finance committee for the board of trustees, so got that person involved.
And for those organizations, it's also a publicity, you know,
Yes.
an advertisement
Yes.
of something I get out there. So
Well,
I can
Invent,
see them wanting to do it.
exactly. Invent OR is too. I mean, we show up in Portland and there's, you know, the president of OIT is there, the president of Portland State's there at all the universities. But, you know, if it wasn't for us, nobody would be there. They wouldn't even know Eastern Oregon existed, you know.
I'm sorry, Wilson, did you say www.
www.livestream.com/EOU/entrepreneur club. And be careful not to put the S. It's entrepreneur singular club.
And Jill, I'll post this to our YouTube channel and it'll have a link. I always send those YouTube links out posthumously. So it'll be in there.
So, and the other piece of this, you guys, if anybody knows of a speaker, somebody who's, you know, who's inspirational, has been there, done that, especially entrepreneurs, we're happy to set them up at a pub talk and track them down and put all the, you know, work together. I mean, these are not, because of the resources, the way the school is, these are not free to put together either. I mean, they charge us for live stream and they charge us for the audio video.
You gave credit to students who went to.
We'll switch to Zoom and have your students do the setup. And you don't get
Your
charged.
students work with.
Well, no, I'm doing a side A.
Oh,
So I need somebody there with a camera and audio video stuff.
Do your students work with the film festival at all?
What was that?
Do you have your students work with the film festival?
I haven't. We did the first ones we did. The first one for sure with Scott was actually at HQ, was in that space. But I haven't, right now we have something worked out with Scott where that space is kind of all set up. The AV guys know where things go. So it turned out to be a lot easier. And I don't have to worry about beer. If people want beer or food, they just buy it.
Right, no, I just mean, you know, connecting your students with the film festival in some way. And,
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we found a way to, you know, it would be fun. They had that guy, what is his name? Bruce. The guy was into horror films.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell was there. But you get him to do something like that, that'd be fun.
The Chin. That's what he's known as.
Yeah, he was Sam Axe in Burn Notice.
It was in
Oh.
all those.
And Nicole Lewis, you know, you're talking, she's a country singer, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah,
Look, from
I think the
here.
recording for you
yeah, we
is on your
actually did a project for Nicole
Oh.
already in 498.
Really?
Because you may have logged in.
Yeah, we're looking at, you know,
When
how to
I
promote
click,
her
I just
career.
clicked on the link. I'll check it
'Cause
though.
I don't have,
She begged
I
us
don't have
up
your
for me
recording,
once or
yours
twice.
or yours. Not
That's
showing.
really nice.
Long time ago.
Well, if it
They're really talented,
recorded,
too.
I should get an email.
This is good,
Thank you, David.
Yes,
Thank you,
thanks,
Wilson.
everybody.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you.
but it could be buried somewhere, like either on that computer or on your account. Did you sign into Zoom? Okay,
No, I took screenshots of Zoom. Oops, sorry. Screenshots of Zoom, and then I did the share link so anybody can access it, so you don't have to be logged into use.
I'll check with John Norris and find out where that went. But
Yeah.
I may have lost yours, both of yours. The bummer.
That's okay.
And I know I lost part of your audio. That's why I put my phone down,
Yeah.
because I was recording your audio. But I'll check with John Norris tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay.
Zoom never screws up though like that, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
No,
I'm like, it's so
We
easy.
do it.
no, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we bought it, is because I've never ever lost anything. So,
Yeah.
but I'm looking
I'll-
into my account and I can't. It doesn't show anything. So.
Yeah, I'll check tonight after my next meeting.
Yeah, just log in and look at your recordings and see if it's
Yeah.
potentially there. If not, it's probably recorded
Probably on
locally
that
on the
device.
machine.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the technical problems, but hey, we roll. That's how we roll. See ya. Bye-bye. Test, test.